In the vast golden expanse of the African savanna, where the horizon stretches endlessly and the air shimmers with heat, every creature is locked in a relentless contest for survival. Here a young lioness named Mila crouched low in the tall sun-bleached grass, her muscles coiled with anticipation, every sense sharpened by hunger and hope. Mila was part of a small, exiled family, her kin forced to navigate the wild without the safety of numbers, their every day a test of resilience and unity. With her were her sisters and her mother Nika, whose belly was swollen with the promise of new life, a fragile hope in a world where only the fittest endure. Hunger was a constant gnawing presence, a silent adversary that stalked them as surely as any predator, driving them to the edge of exhaustion and desperation. Mila, though young, felt the weight of responsibility settle upon her shoulders, her amber eyes scanning the plains for opportunity, her instincts warring with inexperience. In the distance, a herd of formidable Cape buffalo grazed, their massive bodies casting long shadows, their horns glinting like polished daggers beneath the relentless sun. Mila's gaze lingered on them, her youthful ambition surging. She believed she could bring down one of these giants, a feat that would feed her family for days and prove her worth as a huntress. Ignoring the subtle lessons her mother had tried to impart, Mila selected her target, a large, healthy buffalo cow grazing at the edge of the herd, its muscles rippling with every movement. With a burst of raw, untamed energy, she exploded from the grass, her paws barely making a sound on the parched earth as she closed the distance in a heartbeat. The chase erupted in a blur of dust and thundering hooves, the buffalo cow bellowing in alarm, its powerful legs propelling it forward with astonishing speed and strength. But the cow was no easy prey. It wheeled around, lowering its horns in a defiant challenge, its eyes blazing with the will to survive. Mila's inexperience showed she had chosen a battle of pure strength, a contest she could not win alone. The buffalo's bulk and fury forced her to retreat, her claws scraping the earth in frustration. The rest of the herd surged forward, forming a living wall of muscle and horn, their unity a formidable defense. Driven back into the shadows, Mila's first attempt ended in humiliating failure, a painful reminder of her vulnerability. Defeated and exhausted, Mila slunk away to the safety of a rocky outcrop where Nika and her sisters waited, their bodies pressed together for comfort and warmth as the sun dipped lower. Her mother offered no scolding, only a silent, knowing gaze, a look that spoke of hard-won wisdom and the countless lessons the wild had taught her. In the wild, lessons are often brutal. Survival is not merely about power, but about cunning, patience, and the ability to read the ever-changing rhythms of the land. Nika knew that their strength lay not in confronting the strongest, but in exploiting the weakest, seeking out the old, the sick, the unwary, and turning the odds in their favor. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the plains, Mila watched her mother's every move, absorbing the silent language of survival. She observed the subtle shift in strategy, the way Nika melted into the landscape, her movements slow and deliberate, her presence barely a whisper in the gathering dusk. As night fell and the savannah transformed into a world of shadows and whispers, a new opportunity emerged from the darkness. A lone wildebeest, old and weary, lagged behind its herd. A vulnerable target, its steps slow and uncertain, its senses dulled by age. This time Mila did not rush. She waited, her body pressed low in the grass, every muscle tensed in perfect stillness, her breath barely stirring the air. She followed her mother's lead, using the terrain to her advantage, moving with a newfound stealth and purpose, her every step calculated and silent. The stalk was long and silent, a masterclass in predatory patience, a delicate dance between hunter and hunted, where a single misstep could mean the difference between feast and famine. When the moment was right, the attack was swift and coordinated. The lionesses surged forward as one, their timing flawless, their teamwork unstoppable. The wildebeest fell beneath their combined strength. The kill was made, and for the first time in days, Mila and her family could eat their fill, their hunger sated by the fruits of patience and strategy. In the heart of Africa, beneath a canopy of glittering stars, a young lioness had learned a fundamental law of nature. Survival belongs not always to the strongest, but to those who adapt, who learn, and who master the art of the wild. Far from the African savanna, across the vast expanse of the Indian and Pacific Oceans, lies a realm where land and sea intertwine in a breathtaking mosaic of life. This is the Philippine archipelago, a sprawling constellation of over 7,600 islands, each rising from the ocean like emerald fragments scattered across a sapphire canvas. Here the struggle for existence unfolds not on open plains, but within a labyrinth of dense, humid rainforests, some of the most ancient and vibrant on the planet, where sunlight filters through layers of green, nourishing a world teeming with life. The archipelago is a living laboratory of evolution, where isolation and time have given rise to a spectacular array of creatures found nowhere else. Each adapted to the unique challenges of their island homes. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth, blooming orchids and mosses clinging to ancient trunks. Ferns unfurl in the misty undergrowth, while vines twist and climb in a relentless quest for sunlight, creating a multi-layered tapestry of green. The story of these islands is one of profound isolation and adaptation, separated by deep channels and shifting tides. Each island has become a cradle for unique forms of life, evolving in splendid isolation. From the smallest islets to the largest land masses, each serves as a distinct ecosystem, nurturing its own collection of plants and animals, some thriving only within the boundaries of a single island. In the tangled underbrush, the Philippine deer glides silently, its russet coat blending seamlessly with the dappled sunlight and leaf litter. This elusive herbivore is perfectly attuned to the rhythms of the forest, moving with caution through a world of shadows and light. Sensitive ears swivel to catch the faintest rustle, alert to the presence of silent stalkers. Every sense is finely tuned to the ever-present dangers and opportunities of the jungle. Beneath towering diptera carps and ancient fig trees, the deer grazes among buttress roots and tangled vines, a vital link in a food web as intricate as the forest itself, a living testament to the delicate balance that sustains these sanctuaries. High above, the canopy forms a living ceiling, a world apart where sunlight dances on leaves and epiphytes cling to every branch. Here a majestic shadow glides effortlessly, its wings nearly 7 feet across, riding the thermals above the endless green. This is the Philippine eagle, a raptor of extraordinary power and grace, reigning supreme as the apex predator of these forests. Known as the monkey-eating eagle, its formidable talons and razor-sharp beak make it a master hunter, capable of seizing prey with astonishing speed and precision. With vision 8 times keener than most creatures, it can spot movement from great distances, swooping down through the dense canopy in a blur of feathers and power. The eagle is more than a hunter, it is a sentinel of the wild, its presence a sign of the forest's health and the intricate web of life that flourishes beneath its watchful gaze. In the lower branches, nimble primates traverse a maze of vines and lianas, their movements a ballet of agility and balance amid the dense foliage. The Philippine tarsier, a creature of mythic appearance, leaps from branch to branch with astonishing dexterity, its tiny form almost invisible among the leaves. No larger than a human hand, the tarsier's enormous eyes dominate its delicate face, perfectly adapted for life in the dim twilight beneath the canopy. These eyes, fixed in their sockets, require the tarsier to rotate its head nearly 180 degrees, scanning for the faintest flicker of movement in the shadows. As night falls, the tarsier becomes a silent hunter, stalking insects and small prey with lightning speed. Its delicate form belies a voracious appetite, perfectly suited for a life in the perpetual dusk of the rainforest. a spectral presence in the intricate web of the archipelago's wild heart. The Philippine eagle reigns as the undisputed monarch of the archipelago's skies, an apex predator whose domain stretches across the emerald canopies of ancient forests. With a wingspan that can reach over 7 feet, this raptor is built for power and precision, gliding effortlessly above the treetops in search of prey. Its keen eyesight allows it to spot even the slightest movement far below as it surveys its territory from lofty perches. The eagle's diet is diverse, including flying lemurs, monkeys, and large birds, all hunted with silent, sudden strikes from above. Its haunting call echoes through the forest, a signal of dominance and a warning to rivals. The Philippine eagle's existence is inseparable from the health of the rainforest, relying on vast, unbroken tracts of old-growth trees for nesting and hunting. A single breeding pair claims a territory that can span up to 40 square miles, fiercely defending it from intruders. As a top predator, the eagle shapes the balance of its ecosystem, influencing populations of prey and maintaining the health of the forest community. When the forest recedes, the eagle's world contracts, its hunting grounds diminish, and its future becomes ever more precarious. In the solitude of the canopy, the Philippine eagle stands as a living emblem of the wild, its fate entwined with the fate of the forests themselves. In stark contrast, the Philippine tarsier inhabits the shadowy understory, a tiny, elusive primate with an almost otherworldly presence. This nocturnal creature emerges as dusk falls, its enormous eyes adapted to the faintest glimmers of light in the dense jungle. By day, the tarsier remains motionless, pressed against vertical branches, its cryptic coloration rendering it nearly invisible among the leaves and bark. As night deepens, its wide, reflective eyes become its greatest asset, capturing every available ray of moonlight. The tarsier's eyes are fixed in their sockets, but its neck can rotate nearly 180 degrees, allowing it to scan for insects and small vertebrates with uncanny precision. Every feature of the tarsier speaks of adaptation. Millions of years of evolution in isolation have shaped its delicate form and extraordinary senses. Its elongated fingers, tipped with soft pads, grip branches with remarkable strength and agility, while its powerful hind legs propel it in leaps that can span more than 40 times its own body length. The tarsier is a master of balance and explosive movement, a silent hunter in the tangled darkness. Yet this fragile primate is acutely sensitive to changes in its environment, thriving only in the quiet, undisturbed forests it calls home. Even minor disturbances can cause stress, making the tarsier a living indicator of the forest's health and stability. The continued existence of these remarkable animals depends on the preservation of the ancient, shadowy forests of the Philippine Islands, a world where the eagle soars above and the tarsier moves in silence below, each a symbol of the wild's enduring mystery. The wonders of the Philippines extend far beyond its lush forests, reaching into the warm crystalline waters that embrace its thousands of islands. Here a world of astonishing diversity and vibrant life unfolds beneath the waves. The Philippine archipelago lies at the very heart of the Coral Triangle, the global epicenter of marine biodiversity. Its reefs are home to more than 500 species of coral and thousands of species of fish, making these waters some of the richest on Earth. In deep channels like the Verde Island Passage, giants roam. Whale sharks, the largest fish in the sea, glide effortlessly through the blue, filter feeding on clouds of plankton and tiny fish. Alongside them, majestic manta rays sweep through the currents, their wings spanning several meters as they hunt for zooplankton. Yet, beneath the beauty lies a world of constant competition and danger. Predators lurk among the coral branches, moray eels, scorpionfish, and the elusive blue-ringed octopus, whose vibrant rings warn of its deadly neurotoxin. The blue-ringed octopus, no larger than a golf ball, is a master of camouflage. When threatened, it flashes its iridescent rings, a warning to all that its venom can paralyze and kill in moments. This tiny cephalopod is just one example of the powerful chemical defenses that have evolved in the competitive world of the reef, where survival often depends on a delicate balance of offense and defense. The diversity of life here is staggering, from flamboyant cuttlefish that change color in an instant, to mudskippers that leap from brackish water onto muddy banks. Each species has carved out a unique niche. Mudskippers, for example, are amphibious fish that breathe through their skin and gill chambers, using their pectoral fins to walk across mudflats at low tide. They forage for insects and small crustaceans, competing fiercely for territory and mates. Their behavior blurs the line between aquatic and terrestrial life, offering a glimpse into the evolutionary transitions that have shaped the animal kingdom. Meanwhile, on the reefs, countless species of fish, damselfish, wrasses, groupers and parrotfish, navigate a complex web of food chains. Schools of sardines swirl in mesmerizing bait balls, pursued by packs of predatory trevally and barracuda. The chase is relentless, as speed and teamwork determine who eats and who is eaten. At the top of the food chain, reef sharks patrol the drop-offs, while moray eels lie in wait for unsuspecting prey. Every level of the ecosystem is interconnected, with energy flowing from microscopic plankton to the ocean's apex predators. Symbiotic relationships abound. Cleaner wrasses pick parasites from larger fish, while clownfish find shelter among the stinging tentacles of sea anemones, each species benefiting from the other in a delicate dance of cooperation. The reef is also home to masters of disguise, frogfish that blend seamlessly with sponges, and nudibranchs whose vivid colors warn of their toxicity. Each adaptation is a response to the pressures of predation and competition. Grazers like sea turtles and rays play a crucial role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem, feeding on seagrass and invertebrates and helping to keep the reef healthy and vibrant. At night, coral polyps extend their tentacles to feed on drifting plankton, while countless microscopic organisms form the foundation of the food web, sustaining life from the smallest shrimp to the largest whale shark. The Philippine waters are a living tapestry of color, movement, and drama, a place where every creature, from the tiniest plankton to the mightiest whale shark, plays a vital role in the intricate web of life beneath the waves. Here, survival depends on adaptation, cooperation, and the relentless drive to thrive in one of the most dynamic marine environments on the planet. Why is the Philippines such an extraordinary hotspot for life? The answer lies in a remarkable blend of geography, geology, and isolation, which together have shaped a living tapestry of unparalleled diversity. The Philippines is one of just 17 megadiverse countries on Earth, a title reserved for places that shelter the majority of the planet's species. Here, 70 to 80% of all known plant and animal life can be found, making these islands a global treasure trove of biodiversity. The archipelago's isolation has allowed species to evolve in unique ways. Over millions of years, islands have acted as natural laboratories where creatures arrive, become isolated, and gradually transform into new forms. This process, called adaptive radiation, has produced an astonishing rate of endemism, species found nowhere else on the planet. Each island, and sometimes even a single mountain, can host species entirely distinct from those just a few miles away. The archipelago's dynamic landscape, towering mountains, deep valleys, intricate cave systems, and sprawling coastlines, creates a patchwork of habitats, each with its own ecological community. This variety of habitats gives rise to countless ecological niches. In the cool, mossy cloud forests atop volcanoes, rare mosses and orchids thrive, while below, sun-drenched coral reefs burst with color and life. The close proximity of such different environments multiplies opportunities for specialization and adaptation. The Philippines' position within the Coral Triangle places it at the heart of marine biodiversity. Ocean currents converge here, carrying larvae from across the Indo-Pacific and seeding reefs with an unmatched variety of corals, fish, and invertebrates. These waters are a cradle for marine life, supporting intricate food webs and symbiotic relationships. On land, the archipelago is home to over 15,000 recorded plant species, with about half found nowhere else. The same pattern holds for animals. The Philippine eagle, the world's largest living eagle, soars above ancient forests. The tiny tarsier, with its enormous eyes, clings to branches in the moonlight. The Palawan peacock pheasant dazzles with iridescent feathers, while the tamaraw, a dwarf buffalo, grazes in Mindoro's grasslands. The islands shelter rare and elusive creatures. The critically endangered Philippine crocodile lurks in freshwater rivers. The Visayan warty pig forages in forest undergrowth, and the Negro's bleeding heart dove, with its vivid red chest, flits through the shadows. The golden-crowned flying fox, one of the world's largest bats, glides above the canopy, while the tiny Philippine mouse deer darts through the underbrush. Ecological relationships here are intricate and vital. Pitcher plants trap insects, while orchids rely on butterflies and bees for pollination. Ants cultivate fungi beneath the forest floor, and in the reefs, clownfish find shelter among anemones, while cleaner rasa tend to larger fish, removing parasites in a delicate dance of mutual benefit. Every layer of the ecosystem is alive with interaction: predators and prey, pollinators and plants, symbiotic partnerships and fierce competition. Mangrove forests provide nurseries for young fish and shelter for crabs and snails, while the forest canopy above teems with birds and insects in a constant cycle of life. Yet this extraordinary biodiversity faces immense challenges. Many species are threatened by shrinking habitats, competition from invasive species, and the delicate balance of their ecosystems being disrupted. Forests become fragmented, coral reefs suffer from bleaching, and invasive plants and animals alter the natural order, putting native species at risk. The Philippines stands as a living museum of evolutionary marvels, where every island, mountain and reef tells a story of adaptation, survival and interdependence. The fate of these unique species and their fragile relationships is a testament to the intricate web of life that has flourished here for millennia. The loss of even a single species would echo far beyond these shores, for the biodiversity of the Philippines is not just a national treasure, but a vital part of the world's natural heritage. The breathtaking biodiversity of the Philippines is shaped by its dramatic geography, a land forged by the relentless tectonic forces of the Pacific Ring of Fire. The islands themselves are the summits of submerged mountains, thrust upward from the ocean floor by the collision of tectonic plates. This volcanic origin is visible everywhere, from the iconic symmetrical cone of Mayon volcano to the vast caldera of Taal Lake, each a testament to the land's fiery birth. Towering mountain ranges crisscross the major islands, their steep forested slopes shrouded in mist and clouds, creating a land of extreme verticality. These mountains are engines of biodiversity, generating a mosaic of climates and habitats at different elevations, each supporting a unique array of plant and animal life. Over countless millennia, water has been the master sculptor, carving the volcanic landscape with waterfalls and rivers that wind through deep valleys. Torrential tropical rains have etched deep valleys and broad plains, carrying rich volcanic soil to the lowlands, nurturing lush forests and grasslands. Water has also worked its way underground, dissolving limestone to create one of the world's most extensive and spectacular cave systems. The Puerto Princesa subterranean river on Palawan is a prime example, a hidden world where a river flows for miles beneath the earth. Within these cathedral-like caves, stunning rock formations rise from the darkness, and entire ecosystems thrive in perpetual night. The Cordillera Mountains of northern Luzon stand as ancient sentinels, their slopes blanketed in dense forests and veiled in mist. Here the highlands shelter rare and endemic species, towering dipterocarp trees, vibrant orchids, and mossy forests teeming with life. Wild river valleys and pristine rainforests provide sanctuary for elusive mammals, colorful birds, and countless insects, many found nowhere else on Earth. The natural contours of the mountains create a breathtaking tapestry of rock, wild grasses and ferns forming staircases that ascend into the clouds. Ancient streams, fed by rainfall captured in the high forests, flow down through mossy rocks, sustaining the vibrant ecosystems below. In the lowlands, wild rice and native grasses flourish in natural wetlands, attracting flocks of birds and other wildlife. These landscapes, the mountains, the caves, the rivers, are more than just scenery. They are living, breathing worlds. The forests are home to the mighty Philippine eagle, the world's largest eagle, the tiny tarsier with its enormous eyes, and the rare cloud rat, all thriving in these wild places. The mountains act as natural water towers, capturing rainfall that feeds the rivers and sustains the lush habitats below. The caves shelter unique species, bats and swiftlets, whose lives are intertwined with the darkness, playing vital roles in pollination and insect control. Mountain meadows burst into color with wildflowers, attracting butterflies and insects that pollinate the forests and grasslands. The story of the Philippines is written in its very earth, a tale of volcanic fire, patient water, and the wild creatures that call this extraordinary landscape home. In the Philippines, wildlife lives in sync with a tropical climate shaped by two powerful forces, the dry season and the wet season. From December to May, the dry season brings long stretches of sun and warmth, transforming the landscape and the lives of its wild inhabitants. For many species, this is a season of plenty. Flowering plants and fruit trees burst into bloom, attracting nectar-feeding birds and fruit bats who gorge themselves on the bounty. Yet the dry season also brings hardship. As water sources shrink, animals must travel farther to find a drink, exposing themselves to new dangers. Streams dwindle and pools vanish, forcing wildlife to congregate at the last remaining waterholes, prime hunting grounds for predators who wait in ambush. When June arrives, the winds shift and the wet season, or habagat, sweeps in, bringing dramatic change. Torrential rains drench the land, flooding low-lying areas and saturating the soil. The forests explode with life, turning a vibrant green as plants and trees soak up the moisture. Rivers swell and streams flow once more, creating new habitats and opportunities for aquatic and semi-aquatic creatures. Frogs emerge in huge numbers, their calls filling the night, while insects swarm on wet leaves, providing a feast for birds, reptiles, and amphibians. Predators take advantage of this abundance. Snakes hunt frogs in the grass, monitor lizards stalk prey in flooded forests, and kingfishers dive for fish in swollen streams. But the wet season also brings danger. Storms can arrive suddenly, forcing animals to seek shelter from the deluge and lightning. Typhoons, some of the most powerful on Earth, batter the islands with fierce winds and relentless rain. These storms reshape the environment, flooding forests, triggering landslides and toppling trees. For wildlife, a typhoon can be devastating. Nests are destroyed, fruit and leaves are stripped from trees, and entire habitats can be altered in hours. Animals have evolved remarkable survival tactics. Crab-eating macaques huddle together for warmth and safety, while the Philippine eagle fiercely guards its nest, though even these mighty birds can lose eggs to the storm. The sheer volume of rain, over 2,300 millimeters a year, demands adaptation. Many animals seek refuge in tree hollows or dense foliage, while birds and mammals spend hours grooming to keep their feathers and fur in top condition. Mudskippers thrive in the intertidal mudflats created by the rains, while rainforest trees have evolved drip-tip leaves to shed water quickly, preventing fungal growth and leaf damage. Through every season and storm, the wildlife of the Philippines endures, adapting, surviving, and thriving in a world shaped by the relentless cycle of sun and rain. The story of the Philippines is written by the forces of nature, its islands shaped by fire, water, and the relentless dance of wildlife. Volcanic eruptions like those from Mayon and Taal have sculpted the land for millennia, creating fertile soils that support dense jungles and unique habitats. Typhoons arriving with fierce winds and torrential rain regularly reshape coastlines and forests, testing the resilience of every living creature. These storms drive the evolution of coastal ecosystems, with mangroves and coral reefs acting as natural barriers, constantly adapting to survive the onslaught. In the dense rainforests, wildlife interactions are a daily drama, predators and prey locked in a delicate balance, each species playing a vital role in the ecosystem. Beneath the waves, coral reefs host epic battles for survival, where vibrant fish, sea turtles and sharks compete and cooperate in a world of dazzling colour and constant change. Pollinators like fruit bats and sunbirds ensure the survival of countless plant species, their nightly and daily journeys weaving the fabric of the forest. Wetlands and rivers are arenas for dramatic encounters. Crocodiles ambush prey, water buffaloes shape the landscape, and birds seize fleeting opportunities. On land, survival is a constant contest, with insects, reptiles and mammals adapting to the ever-changing environment and each other's strategies. After devastation, whether by fire, storm or eruption, nature rebounds with astonishing speed as plants and animals reclaim and renew the land. The Philippines' biodiversity is a testament to the power of natural events and the intricate web of wildlife interactions that have shaped these islands for millions of years. This ever-evolving landscape, forged by earth, wind and water, is a living stage for some of nature's fiercest and most beautiful showdowns. From the sun-scorched plains of Africa to the rain-soaked forests of the Philippines, the story of survival is a universal epic. For every wild creature, the lesson is one of strategy and patience, a fundamental truth that governs the lives of predators and prey across the globe. Their struggle for survival mirrors the daily battles that play out in every ecosystem on Earth. In the Philippines, this drama unfolds with a unique cast of characters, each perfectly adapted to their island stage. The contest between the powerful eagle and the agile monkey, the silent hunt of the tarsier, and the hidden threat of the blue-ringed octopus are all chapters in the same grand narrative. The archipelago's incredible biodiversity, born from geological fire and evolutionary isolation, stands as a living library of life's possibilities. Each endemic species is an irreplaceable volume, telling a story of adaptation that has been millions of years in the writing. The rugged mountains that create countless niches, the climate that dictates the rhythm of life with its seasons of sun and storm, and the surrounding seas that teem with an explosion of marine creatures all contribute to this remarkable concentration of life. It is a world where nature's creativity is on full and glorious display, a fragile masterpiece of evolution. The epic wildlife battles, the stories of struggle, adaptation, and the unyielding drive to persist are written in every determined step of a hunting predator, in the delicate wonder of a tiny tarsier, and in the intricate connections that bind all life together. The future of these wild places and the unique creatures they hold depends on our understanding and our actions, ensuring that the epic story of survival in all its forms can continue for generations to come. In the heart of the Philippine wilderness, a silent ballet unfolds every day, a dance choreographed by millions of years of evolution. Here, the relationship between predator and prey is a delicate balance, each move critical, each decision a matter of life and death. High in the forest canopy, the Philippine eagle surveys its domain with piercing eyes. With wings stretched wide, it glides through the trees, its silent flight masking the lethal intent beneath its graceful form. Below, a troop of long-tailed macaques senses a shift in the wind. Instinctively they scatter, seeking refuge in the thickest branches, using agility and teamwork to outmaneuver their aerial hunter. On the forest floor, the wily civet stalks the shadows, its padded feet muffling its approach. Its prey, unsuspecting rodents, must rely on acute hearing and lightning reflexes to detect the faintest rustle. A sudden dash, a desperate leap, and sometimes a narrow escape. In the twilight hours, the tiny tarsier awakens. With eyes adapted to the dim light, it scans for insects and small lizards, launching itself with astonishing speed from branch to branch. Its prey, in turn, has evolved to freeze at the slightest hint of danger, blending into the bark and leaves, hoping to escape notice. Beneath the waves, the blue-ringed octopus lies in wait, its vibrant warning colours hidden until threatened. Small fish and crustaceans, aware of the danger, dart between coral and rock, using camouflage and quick bursts of speed to evade capture. These encounters are more than mere struggles for survival. They are the threads that hold the ecosystem together. Each predator and prey, through their strategies and counter-strategies, shapes the fate of the other. It is a world of constant adaptation where the balance of nature is maintained not by dominance but by the intricate interplay of pursuit and evasion. In this eternal dance, every creature has a role and every encounter is a lesson in the art of survival. As the sun dips below the horizon, a new world awakens in the Philippine wilds, a world ruled by shadows and whispers. The dense rainforest, once alive with birdsong, now hums with the subtle symphony of nocturnal life. Here, darkness is not an obstacle, but an ally. From the tangled branches, the Philippine flying lemur glides silently, its wide, membranous wings catching the faintest glimmers of moonlight. With night vision far keener than daylight eyes, it navigates the treetops in search of tender leaves and fruits, always wary of unseen dangers lurking below. Deeper in the undergrowth, the elusive Philippine mouse deer emerges. Standing barely taller than a coconut, it moves with delicate steps, its large, sensitive ears swiveling to pick up the softest rustle. Every shadow could be a lurking civet or a reticulated python. Every movement must be measured. In the canopy, the tarsier reigns supreme, its enormous, unblinking eyes reflecting the starlight. With a leap that belies its tiny size, it snatches insects from the air, guided by acute hearing that detects even the faintest flutter of moth wings. Its grip is sure, its reflexes lightning fast, honed for the hunt in perpetual twilight. On the forest floor, the Philippine flat-headed frog, perfectly camouflaged among the leaf litter, waits for passing prey. Its skin shimmers with moisture, absorbing the coolness of the night and allowing it to breathe even when still and hidden. Above all, the chorus of geckos echoes through the gloom, their calls a secret language of the night. They patrol tree trunks and branches, their toes tipped with tiny suction cups, hunting for insects bold enough to venture out after dark. But the night brings more than opportunity. It brings peril. Predators lurk in the darkness, and only those with the sharpest senses, the quietest movements, and the cleverest disguises survive until dawn. For these creatures, the night is both a sanctuary and a battlefield, where every adaptation is a story written by the struggle to endure. Here, in the deep of night, the Philippine wilderness reveals its hidden wonders, a realm where life thrives in silence and shadow, and the mysteries of survival are etched in every heartbeat. Beneath the leaves and within the tangled roots, another world thrives, one teeming with the smallest architects of the Philippine ecosystem, insects. Here the air is alive with the soft hum of wings, the faint rustle of tiny legs, and the silent choreography of creatures that rarely see the light of day. Among the branches, weaver ants march in perfect formation, their bodies forming living bridges to ferry food and protect their colony. With remarkable teamwork, they defend their nests from predators many times their size, their jaws clamping shut with astonishing strength. Each ant plays a role, from tireless workers to vigilant soldiers, their society a model of efficiency and cooperation. Hidden within the bark, the jewel-like metallic beetles begin their nightly patrol. Their iridescent shells shimmer even in the dim moonlight, warning would-be predators of their toxic defenses. Some beetles, masters of disguise, mimic twigs or leaves, vanishing into the background to avoid detection. On the forest floor, the giant Philippine forest millipede glides over the damp earth, its countless legs undulating in mesmerizing waves. It feasts on decaying plant matter, recycling nutrients and enriching the soil, an unsung hero in the cycle of life. In the shadows, the lantern bug reveals its luminous secret. As darkness deepens, its head glows softly, signaling to potential mates and confusing nocturnal hunters. This gentle glow is both a beacon and a shield, a delicate balance between attraction and survival. Predators lurk here too. The praying mantis, a master of stealth, waits perfectly still, blending seamlessly with the foliage. In a flash it strikes, swift, silent and precise, its spiked forelegs snaring an unsuspecting moth. Every movement is calculated, every hunt a testament to patience and predatory skill. Yet not all interactions are battles. The dazzling butterflies of the day become moths of the night, pollinating moonlit flowers and ensuring the next generation of blooms. Bees, wasps, and beetles all play their part, weaving an intricate web of connections that sustains the forest. In this miniature realm, life is a constant dance of adaptation, cooperation, and competition. The insects of the Philippines, though small in size, are giants in their influence. Engineers, recyclers, defenders, and pollinators shaping the very fabric of the wild. Their secret lives hidden in plain sight are a testament to nature's boundless ingenuity. High above the forest floor, where sunlight filters through a mosaic of emerald leaves, the forest canopy comes alive. This elevated world is home to an astonishing array of wildlife, each perfectly adapted to life among the branches. Agile flying lemurs, also known as colugos, glide effortlessly from tree to tree. Their wide, membranous wings stretch taut as they soar through shafts of golden light. They feed on tender leaves and fruits, using nimble claws to grasp their meals while suspended upside down, ever watchful for signs of movement above and below. Among the thick tangles of lianas and epiphytes, vibrant hornbills perch, their curved beaks cracking open hard fruits. They toss seeds to the ground below, unknowingly shaping the future of the forest. Brightly coloured parrots flit between flowering trees, their sharp calls echoing as they seek nectar and seeds, sometimes pausing to preen or interact with companions. Delicate sunbirds hover near blossoms, their iridescent feathers flashing as they sip sweet nectar. They share these aerial highways with butterflies, whose wings mirror the colours of the canopy itself, drifting lazily from flower to flower. In the shadows, secretive civets slink along sturdy branches, their keen senses guiding them to ripening figs and unwary insects. Squirrels dash at dizzying speeds, leaping impossibly wide gaps, while geckos and tree frogs cling to bark and leaves, their eyes scanning for the next meal. Predators are never far. Serpents, camouflaged among vines, lie in wait for passing birds or small mammals. Raptors circle above the treetops, their sharp eyes searching for the faintest movement, ready to dive in a blur of feathers. But the canopy is not just a place of competition. Here unlikely alliances form, birds flush insects from bark, which are then snapped up by lizards. Flowering trees offer nectar in exchange for pollination. Fruiting branches become gathering points for species that might otherwise never meet. In this kingdom above the trees, every movement, every call, and every meal is part of an intricate web of life, one that thrives in the dappled sunlight far from the world below. Beneath the dense green canopies and beyond the reach of the forest's highest branches, life gathers around the arteries of the land, rivers, lakes, and wetlands. Here the waters move with a steady rhythm, nourishing a world shaped by cycles of flood and drought. In these ever-changing landscapes, the Philippine crocodile, one of the world's rarest reptiles, glides silently through slow-moving streams, its armoured body almost invisible beneath floating hyacinths. Patient and powerful, it waits for fish and unsuspecting birds, a silent guardian of the waterways. Not far from the crocodile's domain, the Philippine sailfin lizard basks on sunlit logs, its crest rising like a miniature dragon's sail. Agile and quick, it dives into the water at the first hint of danger, vanishing in a flurry of bubbles. Along muddy banks, the endemic Visayan spotted deer and wild pigs visit at dawn and dusk, wary of the crocodile's gaze but drawn by the promise of tender shoots and water plants. Within the reeds, the secretive Philippine duck glides through mirrored pools, its soft quacks blending with the chorus of frogs and insects. Marshes and swamps are alive with the calls of tree frogs and the delicate flutter of dragonflies, whose jeweled wings catch the morning light as they hunt for smaller insects above the water's surface. Below the waterline, schools of native fish weave through submerged roots and tangled vegetation, their silvery bodies darting to avoid the sudden strike of a kingfisher or heron. The river's shifting currents carry food and shelter, but also challenge. Sudden storms can swell waters overnight, displacing nests and washing away the unwary. These wetlands are not just a refuge for wildlife. They are the lifeblood of the surrounding forests and grasslands. Floods replenish nutrients, while slow-moving backwaters provide nurseries for countless young fish, amphibians, and invertebrates. Even the smallest creatures, from snails to freshwater crabs, play their part in keeping the ecosystem in balance, breaking down decaying matter and enriching the soil. Every ripple, every leap, and every quiet moment of stillness in these rivers and wetlands is a testament to the resilience of life. Here, survival is a dance with water, sometimes gentle, sometimes wild, but always vital to the tapestry of the Philippine wild. In the heart of the Philippine wilderness, life moves in endless circles, a symphony of birth, growth, predation, and death. Each dawn brings new beginnings, a clutch of eggs hidden among river reeds, tiny hatchlings breaking free from their shells, the first trembling steps of a fawn on dew-soaked grass. As sunlight weaves through the canopy, seedlings push upward from the forest floor, nourished by soil rich with the memories of seasons past. Predators stir in the shadows, their presence vital to the balance of the wild. The silent crocodile, the swift serpent eagle, the prowling civet, each plays a role in shaping the destiny of the vulnerable and the strong. Prey animals, ever watchful, graze and forage, their movements shaping the very landscape they inhabit. The chase, the hunt, and the escape are woven into the daily rhythm, ensuring only the fittest survive to see another sunrise. Yet every end is a new beginning. When life fades, the forest claims what remains. Fallen leaves and lifeless forms return to the earth, feeding the roots of ancient trees and nourishing the next generation. Scavengers and decomposers, ants, beetles, fungi break down what is left, ensuring nothing is wasted in the great cycle. Each creature, from the mightiest raptor to the tiniest insect, is bound together in a web of unseen connections. The survival of one depends on the actions of many. It is a fragile balance, shaped by countless interactions, where every birth and every loss echoes through the wild. In these cycles, life persists, resilient, ever-renewing, and eternally intertwined. Here in the Philippine wild, the dance of existence continues, unbroken and everlasting.